All right, all right.
All right. It looks like we are live. And
We
don't
are
you can hear
live.
me okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Yo, Abusiafo, I'm say yada nyame ase biem for the opportunity for 2022.
Yes,
Uh
sir.
the kind no Mumfa nkyɛn sɛ we know say it's been a while sir since 2021 but trust us 2022 we have a lot of interesting topics to cover for 2022 nti wei deɛ this is just the beginning na nti no because na yɛhu yɛn ho akyɛ no and we haven't spoken or had any program for 2022 no yɛpɛ sɛ yɛma yɛtiefoɔ nyinaa ma obiara akɔ aba ma obiara nso happy new year to the year 2022 yɛnim sɛ 2022 no ahyɛ aseɛ kama yɛsrɛ nyame sɛ nyame ɔno ano bɛhwɛ yɛ so na ɔbɛbɔ yɛn ho ban so throughout 22 deɛ yɛhyɛ aseɛ ne baabi a yɛkɔ wie for 2022 no we ended up on investment yɛnim sɛ ayɛ a lot of blessing for a lot of people, a lot of us, because a lot of the topics na yɛka ho asɛm for investment, we hope and pray, sɛ it's not just say we listen to it and that's it, and we didn't do anything about it. By empire and say obiara no take action, at least bibi kakra bi a wonya firi mu no wobɛbɔ mmɔden sɛ wobɛ apply it to your financial plans be a woyɛ bi a no sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a day in and day out as we share this information ɛbɛboa yɛn nyinaa no nti once again no yɛpɛ sɛ yɛtake the opportunity no na yɛma mo nyinaa no akɔ aba yɛda mo ase sɛ moanya adagyeɛ na motie yɛn wɔ era one radio so this year financial yɛbɛka sɛ ɛbɛyɛ kikim nti no be prepared for nneɛma a ɛbɛkɔ so afei mu nti today no adeɛ a na yɛpɛ sɛ yɛshare with us biribi a woyɛ biara no there has to be a foundation. Then once we lay the foundation, then we build upon that foundation going forward. Nyame adom yɛda nyame ase 2021 ɛkɔwie ɛwɔ asomdwoe mu. Yɛwura 2022 mu. So 2022, what do we do in terms of yɛsikasɛm? Yɛmu bebree no wɔ hɔ yɛsɛte resolutions bebree in terms of what we want to do for 2022 no. Ebi could be say I want to lose weight. But if you want to lose weight, great. The thing is that it also comes with financial responsibility if you want to lose weight, because depending on which route it requires that sometimes you make minor investment in some of these. Ebi also I will set a resolution say I want to build me completely me fie Ghana. It all comes with sikasem. How do you complete that project? So sikasem enkoya. Ebi also would ya wadwin pass 2022 dear come what may no. My retirement based on the investment topics I can one seminar. Maybe I'm not contributing to 401k or 403b any idea. But 2022, I want to make the conscious effort in this a coin be so may contribute to my 401k. Ebi also you have the plan. They say 2022 no, I want to buy a house, or 2022 I probably want to change jobs, or and I say be what's a sign with jobs and I say your investment portfolio you want to review it and do some sort of diversification. So these are all financial resolutions you bet to me a year. But before we do all that, we need to lay the foundation. We need to set certain things in order. Our discussion will purposely be focused on what are the financial backgrounds and as a foundations say you're setting in place. We'll be touching on various things all over because we want our viewers, our listeners, to to get prepared for 2022 and be financially strong for 2022. Into Doug, mefa saa akonya we so on behalf of Era One Radio no yada wasi bebre no for your time, your commitment to this program. I know so we've had a lot of different back and forth conversation in terms of what we want to do, how we want to start this whole thing, but time into but thankfully Yasha's here. I'll give you the space in Bibi Kakra introduction. You can bring it up before we get into our main aim.
Sure. So I think, sir, brother Asiem, you did a very good job breaking down and explaining what our intentions are for 2022. I know it says it's been some time since we last gathered to have this conversation, but brother Asiem and myself and the team have been talking quite a bit, trying to figure out the best way to approach 2022. Finance is always changing. Things are always changing and new things are always coming around. And we want to make sure that, we do our due diligence and bring you guys the absolute best of what's going on and help you guys to be able to improve and make a difference in your respective financial journeys. As Brother Asiem mentioned, in order to be able to do things better than we did last year, it's very, very important that we assess where we are now at the beginning of the year compared to how we ended 2021. And it's very, very important that we come up with specific goals that we are trying to achieve for the year, right? Because if you don't have a target goal, or if you don't have a list of goals that you're trying to accomplish for that year, the year is going to end up the same or worse than the previous year, right? Even for myself as an advisor, every month I sit down, I discuss with my wife, and we try to figure out the best way to handle our money and where do we, where do we need to improve on? What changes do we need to make? What's happening in our respective lives that may require some maybe extension of more money and so forth. So to me, at the beginning of the year, we sat down, came up with the goals for 2022, what we want to accomplish for ourselves, our individual goals, our family goals, for our children, right? The education, how do you plan to fund that education? The plan that we have in place, is it going as we plan it? Do we need to make changes? I mean, all these things is a constant communication between you and your spouse, or if you're not married, you individually being very aware and knowing and having an idea of what you want to accomplish. So like I said, finance, it's a long-term journey, right? And you don't just get to a place, you start today and you're there tomorrow, right? It's a step by step of constantly making tweaks, making changes, making adjustments, because life changes, right? Things change year by year, month by month, things change, right? Maybe our debt may be more this year compared to last year, right? Or we figure out, how do we get into more debt from the previous year? How do we now figure out how to knock off our debt and get back to an even playing field where we can build for the future? So there's so many different questions that we can ask. But as Brother Asiem mentioned, the purpose of today is to once again reintroduce ourselves to everybody, the audience, and also for the new people maybe potentially joining us and tuning in for the first time, perhaps. We want to welcome you, and we think that this program was a big time success last year. The feedback that we got was pretty fantastic, and it encourages us to continue to come back here and give back to you guys. And as always, you guys are going to get the best from us if you are attentive, if you are asking questions, and if you are actually applying what we are teaching. Because at the end of the day, you can come and sit here and listen all day. If you don't take the information and apply it, it's complete waste of your time, right? Knowledge is not power. It's only potential power. The application of the knowledge is where the power lies, right? I always say this because it's so true. Even for in any profession that you're in, not even just money. If you just sit down and listen, you don't get as much. You don't retain as much. But in the doing of that information, right, or applying that information, is where you really begin to retain and actually improve. But like I said, all of us are in different financial situations, right? Some are more advanced, some are more of a novice, they're the beginner, some have more debt, some may not have as much debt. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, wherever you are, don't feel discouraged. Just know that as long as you are willing to work hard and make changes, you are going to achieve your financial goals. Don't worry about what your friend is doing or what your family members are doing. Run your own race, because finance is not generalized, right? We all have our own tailored desires. We all have our own tailored situations that we need to be able to address. Once again, have a tunnel vision. Focus on your and your spouse's game plan, not the outside, because there's so much distraction from the outside. New investment opportunities coming up. Every day something is coming up, right? If you don't get focused and you just listen to everything that's going on, it's going to distract you and it's going to derail you from achieving your financial success. So hopefully today I will be able to come to you guys and just go over a few basic things that we think you guys should look out for, or you should start doing if you haven't already done so, to get you ready for this 2022 year. So that's it for me, brother Asiem.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Awuah, for the introduction. No, once again to our viewers, no, yapese mama wakwa to our one radio. So yada mwasise monya daje na enyumre muni and a program. In fact, without you, no, there's nothing. I mean, yeah, baby, no, no, yada mwase. So my busy schedule ni na no, mo set a time aside to meet with us every Monday. No. 6 p.m. to join us on our financial program. No? One of the things that Dr. Awuah can to be, in fact, the Ebeboy Cassia Pa Bema a few way no, your Jumadion way no, ebe success in the the more questions are more the bebano. And a Ebeboy more direct and say, be or had your way. Area of concern I perceive ha momo and no address my in fact we'll pick up from momo questions no na yet to me I add again to person there be an akasasa, but
Yeah.
the more I move beside questions so the more so I am programming so no lively into yadamwase for sticking with us throughout all this time into no like we said no. It's pretty much like building a house. Building a house, you need your foundation. Or sometimes, and even in life, you need to sit back and do some assessment about maybe course to know who say, okay, where do I need to make changes? What are some of the things I need to do in order me repeat those mistakes na be or may in the past, when it comes into finances, it is something and yes, sir, you be to autopilot to say, okay, my idea way to know technically no, because I would know it. No, there is a time you need to pause and do some assessment.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those times, the best time to do that, is when, sir, we'll transition from 1 year to another year. It gives you the opportunity to sit, review Neoma course so in the past, now who changes as a year going forward. And we want to tackle few areas, certain areas to be. But as we go on, you better pick a son Neoma individual and I can once and be brave. And some of the things I say you can once and I say, yeah, encourage us to take a look. Number one, sir, 2022, it is the time to review your budget. Yeah, better time I can budget once, but our recommendation is beginning of each year, it is time to review your budget. So, Dr. What the question I be Obi Baby Sani said, why do I have to review my budget? The budget was done in 2021. I've been using it. So 2022, why do I have to review it again?
Sure. That's a fair question. And I think that's also a great question, right? The thing about a budget is that, just like anything in finance, like as you mentioned, right? Beautifully mentioned, there's nothing that's set in stone. Right?
Right.
Everything has to always be analyzed and improved. No matter how good you are with your finances, you can always improve. That's why even me as a professional in finance, right? I always analyze my monthly budget. I always analyze my finances. Where are things right now compared to where they were a few months ago or last year or the year before that? How far along am I? Is my net worth growing? Right?
Mhm.
How's my cash
Mhm.
flow? Do I have a tight control of my cash flow? What's coming in? What's going out on a month-to-month basis? Do I have particular things that are really costing me more than it should be costing me? Right? Maybe am I paying too much for my cable bill compared to last year? Last year I had that one cable. This year, can I find another company that will charge me less for the same value? Maybe my grocery bill last year. I only had one child, so it was this much. This year, my wife and I have added another child, so like now it has to be adjusted. If we're going to adjust it, what else can we reduce so that our expenditure is not going up? We're just reshuffling money. So I mean, it's very wise to do these things because, like I said, things are constantly revolving. Right, life is changing on a month to month, on a year to year basis. Right, the budget for the month is just to get you to start thinking about where money is going. Right, you
Mhm.
know what's coming, but a lot of times the difficulty is that we don't know where the money is going. Right, and I will say sometimes we have too much month at the end of the money, meaning we spend all our money, but yet by maybe we still have maybe 10 days left and a month to go, but yet all our money is going. Right, and I always say, no matter how much money you make at work, you can say, I don't make enough. Oh, they don't pay me enough. Or I make too little, whatever it is. That's why I always say, don't compare yourself to the next person.
Mhm.
Whatever income you are blessed to make, find a way to manage that. Right? The good book tells us, if you are faithful to a few, I shall make you ruler of many.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right? It is say if you are faithful to the many, right? If you are faithful to a few, because think about it. If you cannot manage making $20,000 a year, what makes you think you can manage $50,000 a year?
Mhm.
Why should God give you more if you cannot handle the list He has given you? Right? So that's why budgeting is so important. No matter where you are financially, how much money you're making, you find a way to manage that at that stage of your life, right? And you
Mhm.
constantly revise and look at your budget, right? Because once again, your expenses from last year will change. Think about it. If you were paying a particular amount, let's say for your rent or your mortgage last year, in another year, you've paid down the house even more. So maybe the amount that you're paying have gone down. So like now the difference, you can take it and pay the house down even faster, or you can direct it towards another debt that you need to take care of. Maybe you have a credit card debt that you have a game plan on trying to limit. Maybe you have 5 credit cards, right?
Mhm.
Maybe you paid down 3. There's 2 left to be paid off. But yet you went and got another credit card because you needed some money, right? So like now you got 3 again, right? So now the question is, how much I was paying last year per month. Maybe do I need to make adjustments to pay extra for this new year because now I have added responsibility. So that's why it's so important that you don't just sit and forget, right? The only thing that I would say is sit and forget is your automatic investment and your automatic bill pay,
Mhm.
right? That way, and at the end of the month, you don't forget and it not cost you more money, right? But even with that, every month to month, you sit down, you figure out, okay, this debt that I'm paying off, obviously is I'm paying it down. Where's my money going? How much of my money is going towards interest? How much is going towards the principal? Am I putting enough money to be able to pay my debt down even faster? What is my strategy looking like, right? My retirement account, am I putting enough money in my retirement account? Am I contributing to my retirement account where my company is going to match me? When was the last time I looked at my retirement account? Am I even contributing at all? Right? Who's the custodian for my retirement account? Is it Vanguard? Is it Fidelity? I mean, these are all things. There are a plethora of things that you as an individual you want to know because you want to have a pulse on your
Mhm.
finances, right? I
Mhm.
don't. I should not come and tell you what you need to do, but as the individual person, it's your money that's coming in and the money that you're spending. You want to get a control a strong control of that, because if you don't, it's always going to be an area of fear, and it's always going to be an area of a misuse of money if you don't get a strong grasp on your money. Like I said, me myself, every blessed month, my wife and I, we sit down, plan our finances. Hey, babe, this is how much we're going to have coming in roughly this month. You know, do we have any new expenses that we didn't have last month, right? Oh, babe, no, we don't. Everything is fine. So before the money even hits the account, where it's going to go is already predetermined,
Right.
and how much is going to go, right? Because if you don't find a way to control where your money goes, it would dictate where it goes, because there's no direction, right? So I can go on and on and on and on, but the gist of my message here is that I really pray and hope that you guys will really take this discussion very seriously, because I'm telling you, the people that have a strong grasp on their money, right? If you look at their lives, oftentimes they appear a little bit more confident, a little bit more happy, because if money is controlling your life, you're not going to be happy. I don't care how much you say, oh, money don't matter. Money do matter. If it didn't matter, why would you go to work? You see what I'm saying? It's just an excuse, and we have to kind of get away from that. Don't worry about the outside noise. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on how you're spending money. Focus on what is coming in, right? Because at the end of the day, it is extremely peaceful when you have a strong grasp of where your money is going day to day, month by month, year by year. And the idea or the ideal goal is to be able to year by year improve or increase your net worth, right? Decrease your liabilities, increase your assets, right? And maybe last year, I didn't do a good job of having good assets. Maybe this year I want to have more assets than liabilities. Or maybe this year I want to reduce my liabilities, right? So there's so many different things that individually and as a couple or a family, we need to sit down and analyze, so that we make sure that we're on the right track to achieving our financial goal and success.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Dr. Awuah. Just what taking the time to break it down for us. Why beginning of each year be a year important, sir. You benya adagenia review your budget. Like I said from the beginning, these are topics you've been taking in one by one. They go deeper, but now we given the intro, sir. Beginning of each year, what are some of the things you need to do? Your budget, you need to review it. Like Dr. West said, maybe your income went up. Maybe in work of an additional expenses be about 2022 or 2021. So you cannot use the same budget now we use for 2021 and guide your life for 2022. It's impossible. So it's time for you to sit, review it, and make those adjustments. So income na cost, right? Make those changes. So expenses na cost, right? Make those changes. So the so and the science are great. Then one who said, this is the budget and this is what I'm working on. So number one, you can have some time to review your budget. And one. The second one, you can say beginning of the year, or be individual beyond so no, what sign a year important set a set utu one among a year time to review your W4. The question is a bit beside the question is what is W4? Anytime be a befa war a jumemino. Companies your mouth paperwork be to complete. One of the forms you the complete a W4. W4 is the one it determine how much taxes say war as an individual no utia and now say we complete this from like day one when we start a job and we forget about it. But a really important say every year biano ube review your W4. Why in here so review W4 no? Ebini say ebi oha last year nyame ye wadom wow So now you have an addition to your family when your baby foforo. Ebi ohonso a nyame ye wadom. Wo ware ewo 2021. So come 2024, I'm saying 2024, 2022, it is time to review those W4 no, and do those changes, because W4 no, drive the amount of taxes that you need to pay. Ebi ohonso it's nyame pengu, but this is just your friend is a statement that I want to make. Say ebi oho wujai ware ewo 2021. 2022, you need to review that W4 and make those changes. Ebi also you lost obi fancy one partner free mu and I say something. I'm not wishing that on anybody, but this a life event. It's bound to happen. It ever happen. Anytime when those in your mano ebesisibiano, it is time, say, you go into a new year. And you don't have to wait to say, we're going into the new year. No. Immediately, says our event in the you need to request a new W4 from your employer and complete that W4. No. And these days, the IRS and Okra is so easy. Say everything is online. Oko IRS website, you Google a W4 form nebeba, you complete that, you complete those changes, you print it out and you hand it over to your employer. So those adjustments in or profile. So you don't pay too much taxes or you don't pay less taxes, because we hate to see this at the end of the year. No, my filing taxes na my boka na me bisa say I didn't na me boka. I didn't na maybe this time around the menya sika bebre a refund coming back. Chances are your W4, it's not up to date. So it is something number 2 on our list, and it's take time to review your W4. So Doc, I will give the how any idea what they can want then.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that W4 form. I think it's so important, especially selecting it with withholdings, trying to figure out, how should I, file my taxes? Am I going to file my taxes as a head of household? Am I going to file my taxes as a married? I mean, it's so vital because they make a monumental difference when it comes to how you deal with the IRS, right? Because, obviously you want to sit down with a tax professional to help you to be able to, because each person is going to have a different situation. So you want to sit down with your tax advisor or professional to help you to be able to determine which is the best way for you to select. Do I select zero withholding? Do I select this amount of money? Because sometimes, right, at the end of the year, if you have a lot of refund coming back to you, my question to you is this: whose money is that money? It's your money, right? Mm-hmm. So why is the IRS sending you back all that money? That suggests that you overpaid in your taxes, right? That means that money the entire year was with the IRS, but they gave it back to you with not a single interest added. But yet, if you were to take that money from the IRS and they come back and they come after you, they're going to charge you every bit of interest that you owe them.
And right? Penalty.
So that's why it's so important that you know and you have a strong grasp on what your withholding is. Am I filing jointly? Am I filing separate? Head of household? All those things may have their different pros and their cons, but it's up to you and your tax professional to figure out what is best suits you, right? Now, to add to that, right, another major thing that I always advise people to look at the beginning of every year is look at your annual credit report, right? Because that credit report contains a lot of vital or detrimental information that can literally kill your credit. And this can cause you significant headache, right? But sometimes a lot of those credit bureaus, they get that information incorrect. But because we're not looking at our credit report, it stays on there and it affects us. If you go to your credit report and you see that some of the information is erroneous, you can write them a letter and ask them to remove it. You can show proof that, hey, this does not belong to me, or this information is incorrect. And the only way you can know is something is incorrect or something is off is if you actually make time to go through your actual credit report. I mean, guys, the government allows you one free report from all the 3 bureaus per year, free, right? And now, especially since COVID, to the best of my knowledge, now they do like every month you can get a free report to see what's going on with your credit. You should definitely take advantage and analyze the report to see what is on it. If nothing bad is on it, great, at least you know. But if something bad is on it, you know also, so you can take action. You can't say, oh, well, I'm going to sit, I'm going to pray and hope it gets better. You can't pray that away. There's certain things you can't pray. With faith without works is dead. You have to do the work for God to do his part, right? You see what I'm saying? We always sit there and pray. Come on, man. Let's be honest with ourselves. If you're not willing to do the work, how dare you expect God to do his part? Right? Your part is seeing what's inside that report and making adjustments or making the necessary corrections as you need to. And I think that can make a huge difference, because imagine if you remove one erroneous or one negative item on your report, it can give you a 15, 20-point boost. And that 15, 20-point boost could be the boost you needed to be able to apply for a mortgage or apply for a car or apply for something else, right? So all these things are so tightly interwoven with each other, and you have to be really, really conscious and cognizant, of these things, and don't leave it to chance. Be proactive, right? Don't be reactive. Be proactive, So
yeah.
Hello, beautiful people of Ghana. This is Banahine Specialist Hospital. We are so excited to announce to our people Ghana that we are finally open and we are accepting patients. At Banahine Specialist Hospital, our extraordinary physicians and nurses are here to provide a high-quality medical service to our extraordinary patients. Our services include primary care services, maternal, neonatal, and pediatric services. We also have an in-house pharmacy. We have x-ray and laboratory services available to you. Come to us for all your healthcare needs, and you will be happy you did, because we believe that health is wealth. Thank you, and stay blessed.
Thank you so much, Doug. And once again, your viewers in Aquaba to our one radio. And thank you, Dr. Awuah, your friends, for your input on the W4 and also transitioning into the next year listing so in terms of credit report. I mean, it is great. And our staff people say credit report, it's like people, they are too like autopilot. And we are hoping, your friends, things will turn out great when we are ready to buy a house, or we're going to apply for a car loan, or like a personal or something. That is the only time why a lot of us, if you are your credit, or we know our credit score. But like Dr. West said, every year, be at the beginning of the year, it is a good time as our housekeeping, keeping our finances in order. One of the biggest tools or drivers to our success a credit report, because your friend is saying $100. The interest are which you also. Because it's our credits in your internal, if you have 19%, 20%, the same $100, and another person is obenya interest rate like 2%, 3%. Sometimes a lot of these things, if you have say a creditor, but you are near your fault. I can go on and on about so many examples about individuals. If you are not to have. But not be after a creditor, be another credit card in their name they were not even aware of. Years later, Omoko apply for mortgage, the Omoko car, na pulling ye who say, we say, that no, and it's too late. Internet here said every year be a beginning of the year, like Dr. Was said, the 3 credit bureaus, federal government and said you can get free reports. Print it out, go and get that information. In fact, sir, if you don't even understand what is on there, I'll tell you, take it to your bank. They will find time to explain everything on there. And it is time who said, oh, I deal with here. Okay, where is it coming from? Time to dispute it. And if you dispute it now, prove it and pass, they will take it out. It may take it time, but eventually, all this will come off. The earlier you do it, the better. Because I was trying for 5 years, 10 years before I discovered say will be a BABB in your name like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It might be too late. But if you were proactive doing this, even every month, every month, it helps you to discover some of these discrepancies in here and there, and for you to dispute them. Like we said, let's take this information now. Our foundation into your year and year common, you're taking it serious. So when shall say the year can start na ebi a beboa. Another number 4 on the list every year we need to look at your social security earnings. It is something I don't know. Very important, but a lot of us we don't take Sanyoma way serious. Now, let me share this information, sir. It used to be years ago, sir. Every year, the Social Security Administration will mail each individual your earnings or your statement showing, sir, with Social Security, saying what year, why and the 40 credits necessary we need to qualify for Social Security. And I say, and the federal government will say, look, we are mailing this millions of, it is costing us 1, money, and 2, people are not even taking a look near this. So now, to save money, we're doing everything online. Until right now, it is you and I, our responsibility to log on into Social Security Administration website to look at it, to look at our earnings. In fact, our website address here, ssa.gov. ssa.gov. Obia, our recommendation to you is take time, log on to that website, and someone register. Once you register, you log on. The first thing will be your earnings from like 2021. And the reason why will be taking the time to look at it and say, you want to make sure, sir, your employer accurately reported your earnings for the previous year to the Social Security Administration. If we say your earnings would determine how much Social Security you will qualify for when you retire, or why disabled now you need your Social Security benefits now. Your earnings determine how much you get. Once now, why fully vested, into our employer, a report to the wrong earnings, it can affect how much Social Security you will get at retirement. It is really important, yes, Ramo.
Good idea.
I cannot stress this enough. So go, take a look, and make sure, sir, we are doing 50,000. Your employer reported that 50,000, and not 20,000 or something. The question, so maybe you'll be baby son, sir. What about self-employed funds? Self-employed is the same thing because you also pay your Social Security through what taxes near there, and also make sure, sir, your Social Security earnings are being reported to the Social Security Administration. somewhere along the line, when you retire, you'll be able to get like the right earnings now. Doc, if you have anything to add to the Social Security,
Oh no, I think everything that needed to be said, you said it. And I think it wasn't in my mind, but it's such an important point that you made right there. And I think a lot of times, that's another reason why, we have to be very mindful of how our information is reported. We have to be very mindful of how much money we're reporting, to the government for tax purposes. Because at the end of the day, you may think you are getting away or trying to hide money from the government, but in the long run, it's going to cost you, right? Because it's not going to reflect on your Social Security, right? That's going to dictate how much they pay you when you're retired. So I always say, man, try your very best to file your taxes and get your information out there as accurately as possible, because the more accurate your information and the more honest the information is, later on, it's going to benefit you significantly. But I think, like I said, Brother Asiem, everything you needed to say about Social Security, I think you said it. There's nothing more that I can really add, but it's extremely important. Extremely, very, very, very important.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, but like Sunny, this vital information.
Yeah.
We overlook them. But you don't want to wait till while you're ready to retire. If you call Social Security say you qualify for at the end of what the 67, 68, 70, if you say your Social Security earnings will be only $500 a month. We'll say, whoa, what happened? My year all these years, $500 a month, but chances are will employer no and report to like the correct information to them, or even you self-employed you didn't pay the correct amount so almost based on that information and or more extra how much you may take this information your friends is serious now. Yet next one, it is time also every year, time for you to review it, our tax situations. Also, there are so many changes. It took place in 2021. Now, what about 2022? Dr. Awuah, why is it important for us to review our tax situation anytime we transition into a new year?
Yeah, the thing is, the government always, make changes, in the tax laws. It may not be as consistent as every single year, but from time to time, they make changes that can affect us significantly, right? They've been giving us all these stimulus payments that you've been taking it is free, but those things are still have to be accounted for, right? And I think that the reason why one of the key reasons why it's so important to once again always stay on top of your taxes and how you file your taxes is because once again, like I said, things are changing. Maybe year to year, right? They have this cost of living adjustments, right? Maybe your income. Oftentimes, most jobs they give you pay increases, right? All those things are going to bump up your income. Maybe you are in a particular tax bracket, right? But because you got a pay increase when you and your spouse file together, and now put you guys in a new tax bracket. And because you guys are in a new tax bracket, you have to now assume that, hey, your taxes are going to be a little bit higher, right? So you can't think, okay, well, let me plan on my budget. Let me plan on my budget and my everything based on what my tax bracket was last year. Because now I'm making more money. My spouse may be making more money, right? So it's going to change how we pay our taxes, right? Maybe our child is now, adult now, and he's no longer dependent on us, right? That's going to change how we file our taxes. If we had before, we say we had two dependents. Now it's one because the other one is no longer dependent, right? So that's going to affect how your taxes play out. So I cannot stress this stuff enough that it's so important that these things are reviewed on a yearly basis, because no one of us stay the same forever as far as our income goes, right? Year by year, consistently, most companies are giving pay increases. Some companies pay out bonuses, and it seems like it can be substantial. That bonus is income that can bump up your tax bracket, right? So you want to be very, very mindful of these things, right? Because the taxes, I'm telling you, you do not want IRS stuff coming after you, because the moment And like I see it all the time, right? People are trying to find ways to be able to escape paying the taxes. Man, you are living in a country that's helping to be able to build wealth, right? Why not pay your fair share? Because at the end of the day, the taxes that go to a lot of different things, including new housing, including providing for shelter for those who are less fortunate. So I mean, it goes towards a lot of good things. Is part of it wasted on a lot of dumb things? Of course, right? But we don't control how that stuff is. Our goal is to control what we can control, which is to pay our fair of taxes. So that, because think about it, if IRS come after you, let's just say 10 years later on, all those years that you owe them money, they're going to add a little bit penalty on that, right? So it would have cost you way more than what you would have paid them if you reported everything as honestly as possible. So, like I said, you want to be very mindful and always stay on top of these things, because if it gets out of hand, it can cost you a lot more money than you think you're trying to save. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Doc. I mean, why hits on so many good points. I just one of the things what can I click your home and say you stage been now baby are not yet dependent now, no longer a dependent. And right now, no, I'm running into that situation, and I'm say what 2021, yes, Nippon dependent. But remember, I said 2022, maybe on your dependent.
That's right.
You're dependent, meaning, sir, you need to make some adjustments somewhere. And just at the end of the year, and when you go to file for the 2022, it has a over decade. So that's why it's so important, sir. Uber reviews annual man, not when the changes be so we be no Uber yeah can be a worry. Yes, it requires a so change because now no if you how you file it, joint, and as a head of household, and as a single, and as a separately, all these things, make it a difference. So he has a reviews annual man. Another area, and so you better recommend this every year. Maybe question be about. So my friend always says, work less to get more. Return tax out through. Sister Abner from for the question, and these are some of the myths out there.
Misconception, that's right.
Yeah, a lot out there. I just say, in fact, when we get into taxes, you better take your time. They are getting deeper into Sanyoma way, but. The question is, you work less, now we'll train for 12 months to get maybe 2,000-3,000 more, whereas the whole year, you could have been working more to get more. And, there's a lot of misconception about that. Kakra, you better on this area, before we get into that topic, and it's I don't buy that, your friend, is an idea, and it's a work less. To get maybe $2,000-3,000 at the end of the year, versus if I work like extra shifts, more shifts, and get so $2,000-3,000, I can get more than that throughout. When we get into taxes, you become more assembly.
Yeah.
Maybe the year you review individual being taking the time to review a year our 401ks. And our 403bs. Sir, yes, me wajuma may contribute to, and that kind of anything. And so, what else? What do I need to do? I was saying for a very important, sir, every year, because when you log onto your company websites now, the different areas now more invest to Sika. So the question is, is that a right mix for you? Companies no more investing in, are they even doing well? And now I say, can I move things around from here to there? Or maybe one as an individual, maybe we change jobs. Now, remember IBM. So see, we're free IBM. We'll call a Hewlett Packard. So the question is, what do I do with my 401k or 401k now? What IBM and major on? What do I do? Most of the times we attempt to say, oh, you know what? Let me cash it out. But you are building wealth for the future. So you need to review Sanima way and make sure. So maybe I can roll it over to my new company. So it is important, say, you better review some of these things, where our priority lies. Now set your financial goals well. But say yes, you living your way on autopilot, hoping that the system will work for us. You better stay. Some companies are not doing well. We are not earning what we need to earn. So our recommendation is every year, beginning of the year, take the time to review your investment, your 401k, your 403b, your IRA, or whatever investments will be. Take the time to review them, make the necessary changes, adjustments, and this is your area of your daily bread. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love that point that you bring up. I always advise people that if you have an advisor that you're working with, or if you're doing your own thing, you want to rebalance your portfolio, right? Because maybe at the beginning of the year, and people rebalance whether it's every 6 months, every quarter, or every year. It all depends what you're doing. Maybe when you did your portfolio, it was 70% stock, 30% bond, right? But because maybe stocks have done so well, that portfolio is no longer 70-30. It could be 90-10, right? Because of the performance of the stock compared to the bond, right? So you want to rebalance it so that you can kind of like sell off some of those stocks and put it back into the bonds, right? To be able to have that mixture of percentages. So it's very, very important because, as I mentioned, some of the earlier trainings, that stocks and bonds are inversely related, right? When stocks are up, bonds are down, and vice versa in most situations. So you want to be very mindful that if your investor DNA says, hey, I prefer 70% to 30% stock, if it goes to 90-10, it's now way more riskier that you can accept, right? So at that point, you want to be able to rebalance it and break it down to an acceptable ratio. So you want to be very mindful of that, right? Reviewing your retirement accounts. If you have switched jobs, right? What are your options, right? Is it always the best to move into your new job? It may not be, because sometimes you go from one 401k, you roll over to another 401k. They might not have the best investments available for you to be able to pick from, right? Because a lot of times 401ks have very limited investment options, right? Compared to maybe an IRA, right, where they have a plethora, over 2,000 funds where you can pick from, right? And that maybe those might be too many funds, but at least you have a diversity and more options to be able to pick from compared to a limited, amount that you get from a 401k. So maybe if you lift your old job, you have a new job, you may not want to roll over to the new job. Maybe you can roll over into IRA, which give you more options and more control over your money, right? So, and that's all going to be dependent on what your current situation is and how you discuss it with your advisor. So you want to always be mindful and stay on top of these things, because a lot of times I sit down with clients, they left their old jobs, but yet their money is still there. And it's been maybe 4, 5, 6 years. I have a client that have 4 different accounts, 4 different 401ks from old companies, right? But they have no idea what to do with it, right? Until we sat down and we had to consolidate everything so that actually performance is better, and also what fees are better, and also the overall value and strategy is in place compared to having money sitting everywhere. So all these decisions help you in the long run to be able to have a much more success with your money. So
thank you so much. So for why into beginning of each year, and we need to take time to be reviewing some of these things. In fact, in the interest of time, you final a year, you can have some beginning of each year, it is time for you to review your credit cards. Oh, sir. Beginning, so Dr. Wakan wants maybe as a family, as an individual, you have like 3, 4 different credit cards. Is this something that you need all those credit cards? And now, sir, you have some credit cards, they are probably charging you annual fee. Is this something that you really want? What are the best like credit card out there? Ebe mami like cashback. Ebe mam your friends miles near there for my travel and near there. Inti necessary, sir. Sa credit card I would journey 10 years ago. No, don't not it's yes, the bank did well, sir. Those times by now credit no wow. So you want to remain loyal to them. But the question is it benefiting you? Maybe not. Maybe they are charging you the annual membership fee. Maybe the interest rate in Ukraine is so high. Maybe you don't even get like any cash reward, nothing out of that credit card. And once you spend, you pay the interest near there. Each year, it is important, sir. We review annual way now. We share, sir, their credit card na the best for me. Now we share. If you need to switch out, yes, at the end of the year, do it. Not credit card, no, and benefit not the credit card companies. For yadamwa say and you may for your time with us, Samunya Adaje. Now, we're spending a lot of time with us at Era One Radio. Yadamwa senso for 2021. Nyoma Bibra, a course, a course 2022. Yes, Ramuse. We are teaming together, and as we said from the beginning, more questions, inflow na ebeboa na ama jumadi. Nti yadamwa se information kakra ya share no yenim se wunye untu ho anamo, please take the time so we two ho anamo. Dr. Awuah, your last words.
Boss, I don't have anything else to add. Just once again, as always, as Brother Asiem mentioned, what we do is nothing without you guys tuning in and listening to us, right? And all we're trying to do is always, provide value and provide impact, right? To be able to help you guys to be able to achieve your financial goals. None of us are perfect. We are all learning as we go, but at least what we know, we want to share with you guys to be able to help you guys in any way possible. So please never hesitate to feel free to reach out to us if you have more questions. And always, please ask questions, make it more engaging so that we can even have more fun and give you guys more feedback. And no questions ever a dumb question. Ask it so we can discuss it. So,
all right, thank you so much. Until next Monday, 6 p.m. Okay,
well, God bless everyone.
Take care. Thank you.
All right, bye.